Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Every person has lots of problems, whether it is a small or big problems. And oftentimes, we cannot solve our problems by ourselves. We oftentimes ask suggestions from other people so that we can finish our problem with lots of insight and we can finish that efficiently. That's why understanding on how to ask, give, and respond to suggestions is very important for us so that we can have lots of insight to solve our problems effectively. That's why today, with me, Bunda Army, you are going to learn about suggestion. Alright, let's begin. So today we are going to learn about suggestions. We are going to focus more on how to ask, give, and respond to a suggestion properly. But before that, let's look at this picture. Okay, you can see that there is a picture of a girl standing with holding an exam result with the letter of F. You can identify that a letter of F is not a good one, right? And it's also stated that she has lots of problems starting from lack of self-confidence, lots of personal issues, and also poor time management. So, if you are one of her friends, so what are you going to do? Are you going to leave her alone? No, right? Because you are a very smart student. You care to each other. So you will help her, you will give lots of suggestions and insight so that she will become a better person and finish all of her problems. So that is one of the function of how and why we are learning about suggestion today. Then, let's begin. Well, in our agendas, there are several things that we are going to learn today, starting from the learning objectives, definition and functions, phrases for asking, giving, and responding to a suggestions. Alright, let's begin to the first one, about learning objectives. Actually, in the end of the lesson, you are expected to be able to do something and know something. Starting from the know one is that you are expected to know the definition and the functions of the suggestion itself so you can use that properly in a proper situation. Also, you are also expected to know the common phrase that is used to ask, give, and respond to a suggestion. So when one day there is a friend of yours asking a suggestions to you, you know how to respond that properly and clearly. And besides that, you are also expected to be able to, of course, use your knowledge to ask, give, and respond to a suggestion properly. So you can help each other, give lots of suggestions to your friends, and even got lots of suggestions for yourself to finish and solve your problems. Okay? Well, let's move to the very main of our lesson. We're going to start by talking about the definitions. When we are talking about suggestions, it means that we are talking about actions, ideas, planning, or possible opinions that is mentioned for other people to be considered. Yeah. So when we are giving suggestions to our friends, so of course, our friends will try to understand that, try to listen, and consider whether they have to use our suggestions in solving their problems or not. And why do we need these suggestions? Because we are a human being that needs each other. We cannot live alone, right? So the functions of suggestions is that it is used to help someone who needs an insight in solving lots of problems in their daily life. By using suggestions, you can help each other to finish the problem. Alright, well, let's move to the next part of our lesson, which is about the common phrases used to ask for suggestions. So when we are talking about asking suggestion, it means that you are the one who has the problem, not the other people, right? And how actually you can ask suggestions is by first you have to mention your problem first. Imagine if you are asking suggestions but you do not explain your problem. How can other people know what's your problem then, right? So the first thing first that you need to do in asking suggestions is tell the problem clearly. And then after that, you can use several phrases that I listed here. For example, like, what should I do? Here, if I can give you an example, I can say that, for example, I left my wallet in my boarding house, so now I don't bring any money. I cannot buy a breakfast. What should I do? You can say like that. Or you can say, do you have any ideas? So you are asking suggestions on ideas. What should I do, right? And you can also use, do you have any suggestions for me? Or maybe you can also use, could you tell me what I should do? Or if you're talking to your friends and it's quite casual, you can say, any suggestions? Okay. So for example, if you were in the middle of a formal situation, you can use this because this is quite polite. Yeah, you use would you give, would you. So the word of would indicate that you are trying to be very polite. For example, you are telling their problems and then you say, would you give me some suggestions, please? I'm so hungry, for example. Or you can say, could you give me some suggestions about, in this phrase, we change the part. So if the previous phrase you say the problem first, and in this time you are saying the phrase first. So you say, could you give me some suggestions about the project that we have, for example. I haven't finished my project yet. Then you can tell the other detail of your problems. That's quite easy. You just need to remember the phrase, and after that you're going to be able to use that in your conversations. And it's very helpful, yeah? Okay, so look at a picture there. Here I have an example of a woman standing in front, besides her broken car, and she is trying to solve her problem by calling her friends, called John. So here the woman say to John that she is explaining the problems, and then she said, could you please tell me what I should do? So she is trying to ask for suggestions on how to solve her problem, right? So could you guess how actually you can respond to this question? Well, we are going to talk about that in the next slide.